Hello, everybody. This is Femi Diaries, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube page yet, I encourage that you do so, and also punch that notification bell. Today, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to talk a little bit about finding your purpose in life. This is a very crucial area and important thing with people to find out what they believe they're supposed to be doing. And I'm not going to make it sound like it's going to be the easiest thing to do, because finding your purpose is different for everybody. Now, one of the things I've realized that happens a lot of times is, people normally will begin with things they are good at, maybe their strengths, sometimes their abilities, sometimes their interests, things that interest them. Sometimes it could be their values, could be things that their parents have told them that they should do. It was one of those common things when we were growing up. Your parents, they ask you what you want to do, and many times they try and steer you in the direction of something they feel they want you to do. Oh, I want you to become a medical doctor. I want you to become an artist. I want you to do this. I want you to, and I can remember several stories of friends who came back and told their parents, I don't want to do this no more. I want to be a musician. I want to be an artist. I just want to be behind doing choreography, or I want to, and the parents are like, no, not under this roof. That will never happen. And you keep hearing this kind of stories many times. And it's like, okay, wow. But when they end up going in those directions, they are more fulfilled, they are happier. And they tend to, I've heard of so many stories of people who went in certain directions and eventually either took their lives. As tragic as that sounds, that has happened a lot of times. People ended up taking their lives. People ended up doing things to harm or hurt themselves. So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say, many times is people talk about their passion. I'm passionate about this. I want to go do this thing. I want to be a motivational speaker, a life coach. And because they have the passion to do it, many times they think that's what they're supposed to do. Now, I think one of the first things in my experience will never be everybody else's experience, but I think a very important point to get to is to begin to differentiate all these different things. And again, like I said, for some people it's a journey. It's something that it will take you a process to begin to know. What I really intend to do with this video is just to kind of open this discussion up and see where it goes from here. It might become a series, I'm not sure yet, but I just wanted to open it up and just kind of get people juices to begin to flow and let people begin to think in this direction. Why? Because finding your purpose in life, I believe, is the most important thing. When you know what you're supposed to be doing, that's like more than half of the job already done. Now you can focus. Now you know the direction. Now you know what to pour yourself into. And there's none of us that want to pour ourselves into something we are not sure that we are supposed to be doing. It's hard to be able to focus and to be really successful at something you're not really sure that you're supposed to be doing. So I think the first step really is to separate all these things. Okay, this is a passion I have. This is an interest. These are my values. These are my strengths. These are my abilities. This is what I do as a career, as a job. This is what I do to make money. Now, in one of my presentations in the past, I talked about finding a vocation. I was talking about the 7 most important things in life, and I talked about careers versus vocation. And careers are awesome, and sometimes your careers they end up being your life work or your purpose, but not always. But vocations are a little deeper, because a vocation is something that comes from within you. And it's almost like your heart, which is kind of you, who you really are, your spirit. Because man is tripartite. Man has a soul, he lives in a body, and he is a spirit. Now, when you talk about vocations are more like your spirit calling you to something higher. And it's almost like a voice, but it's not a physical voice. Kind of like the examples I gave when people were talking about how they're like, I want to be an artist. I want to make melody. I want to make people happy, and I want to do it through playing instruments. It's a higher cause, something they feel from within them, something they feel really deep in there. I believe very strongly that God created us, and already in us was what our purpose in life was going to be. And yes, it's a journey or it's a discovery that we have to make. But many times what I've seen is that people don't take the time to really begin to go on that path to make those discoveries. In that presentation I gave the last time, one of the things I said was where your heart and your intelligence and your brain and your researching, if I should put it that way, where they all meet is the point where you are of the highest good and highest solution to issues that humanity faces. And that's where humanity needs you the most and will pay whatever value they have to pay to have you do that thing that you were supposed to do. Now, Martin Luther King, for example, we saw how embracing the civil rights, embracing that need to, be a face for the less privileged, for those who felt oppressed, for those who needed somebody to represent them in the places of power, became not just a passion, but something really deep from within him that he realized he had to do. I still remember going through his memoirs, and one of the things he said was he was doing those things. He was also a preacher, but he realized later as he went along that this seemed to be a life calling. This seemed to have been something that had been on the inside, kind of what I was talking about, the heart connection, something deep within him that drove him to realize that this was a purpose in life he had to really, kind of focus on, and he began to give it his all. And we saw that even till today, his name has gone down in the sands of times, will always be remembered. Martin Luther King. Even people who are kids and grandkids will hear about Martin Luther King. So coming down, again, like I said, when we talk about finding your purpose in life, it's something really deep within you. And in my experience, I'm one of those kind of articulate kind of people that even when I began to have a sense of what I felt I was supposed to do, I knew what I was good at, my strengths and stuff. But what was my heart saying? What was on my heart? What was, people will tell you sometimes that it's things that make you happy, things that you're passionate about, things that you want to, those things, they could be lead you in the direction of your purpose, but not necessarily all the time. But for me, it got to a point where it wasn't just the passions and the interest, but it began to become my heart began to lead me in certain directions. And as I was very, open to what was going on, I began to see that this was the direction I was supposed to go. I remember as a little boy, I used to think I was going to be an engineer, but I don't even have, now I don't necessarily have to have all the abilities or skills, but it's good to have a little bit of what you need if I was going to go in that direction. But I was never created to go in that direction. I'm never supposed to have gone in that direction. So again, like I said, I'm just opening this up like a conversation, but I know there are a lot of people out there that are still trying to figure this out. Some people are in their 40s and their 50s, still haven't figured out what they're supposed to do. But I want you to take some time with yourself and really begin to dig deep and begin to, pray about this. And that's, I don't want to over spiritualize everything, but it's very, very crucial that you get back to your source, because your source will help you. Your source, God, will help you to really locate why you were created, why you're here, what you're supposed to be doing. And that will really help you in this journey of discovery. And that will help you to really begin to narrow down a lot of options that you need to just kind of get out of the way so that you can really focus on what you're supposed to be doing. Finding your purpose in life, I believe, is the most important thing any one of us can do. And it's not impossible, it's something that you can do. Even though in some cases it takes people a little longer. But if I was to kind of give us bullet points for what I'm kind of saying today or this conversation, the first thing I said again is, first of all, kind of clarify different things. Know your strengths, know your passions, know your interests, know your values, know your skills. All that is good to know those things. And then the next thing I would say in terms of trying to have a process would be, begin to listen to your heart and begin to go in the direction of things revealed from your heart. And that will be done, as you, again, I said, pray. And as things are revealed to you, begin to take steps in those directions and begin to see how you feel about those things, how the fulfillment, and there's kind of like a drive, almost like a divine knowing, a kind of knowing on the inside as you begin to take those steps in that direction that helps you to realize and recognize that this seems to be something that you need to pay attention to. And as you take those steps and begin to develop it, you begin to see more clearly where this, like a calling, vocation talks about a calling, a whispering, something directing you in a path. So those things begin to get clearer as you begin to take those baby steps in that direction. And this will begin to help to unfold your purpose in life. Now, this is a start. And this is something any one of us can do for those of us who are still trying to find out your purpose. One thing I would say in concluding is that you can be very good at things. You can have passions about certain things. You can desire to do certain things, but they are not your purpose in life. So the fact that you are good at something, the fact that you can do something very well, the fact that you have the skills, the intellect, the ability, does not mean that's your purpose in life. There are so many people that are frustrated, very good at what they do, but are still frustrated. Signs of frustration. Now, I'm not talking about occasional frustration in terms of maybe you had a difficult day or something, but I'm talking about a continuous trend of being frustrated, of being unfulfilled, of not feeling like you are really making any difference in life, in a certain path or career or journey, will begin to unveil to you that this might not be where you really need to be at. So it'll behoove you to really spend the time to really begin to retrace your steps and to find your heart again. I've heard of people who, just to find their purpose, will take time out, go to a different place from the hustle and bustle of the city life and things like that, to a quiet place, maybe an outside country place, and just kind of get close to nature and just kind of calm down, reflect, and really kind of slow the pace of life down to really begin to feel and sense what's in their heart. And sometimes people, when they want to go like a second part of their lives, they take time out like that. And I thought those are precious moments when you take time like that to really slow down, get out of the routines of life, to really spend some time to unfold what's really going on the inside of you. It's sad that a lot of times we go through these routines that we have and we never really take time to really find out our heart and find out what is important to us at that time. What do we feel we are meant to be paying attention to at that time? So my conversation today again was just to kind of give us a few things to begin to look at and just begin to go in direction of, to begin to find out what the purpose of our life is. Beyond anything else, some of us, we kind of have a general understanding. Maybe we're here to help, and we are all here to add value to mankind, no doubt about that. But we need to find our niche. We need to find exactly in what form and how does it look, that area we are really meant to pour ourselves out. One more thing I would say about your purpose doesn't mean that it's just one thing you're supposed to do. Finding your purpose means that there could be different ways in which you can do this. Some of the greats that we've seen, very successful people, are able to do several things very well. Maybe they're into leadership. Maybe they're into product manufacturing. They're into speaking, and all these different aspects are onshoots of them being able to walk out their purpose in life. So it's not just a one specific thing. Many times it has onshoots, it has different ways it manifests itself. And also, your purpose is not just one thing. Obviously, like for me, I have a family, I have kids. Definitely, that's one of the things I'm supposed to pay attention to in my life. My kids, my family. I'm a leader too, so I'm meant to. There are certain people I have to lead. That's part of my purpose in life. Also, things I do in the community. That's part of what I'm supposed to do. So your purpose will have different aspects or ways they manifest themselves, but it's the same you. Now you might wear different caps, if we should put it that way. You have a leadership cap, you have a father cap, you have a husband cap, you have a team player's cap, you have, all these different things you could do. So hopefully I've said some things today that kind of begins to help steer you in the direction of your finding your purpose in life. And I will see you in the next one.